Good morning, Cougars. This is Mr. Martinez with the morning announcements. Morning, Jake.
Good morning.
Welcome back, Bentley. How you doing, buddy?
Great. How are you? Good morning.
I'm super. Happy Friday. Jake, you ready for the flag salute? Let's
Yeah,
go
I
to
think so.
Samantha's flag and go ahead and take it away. Samantha, take it
Right. Place your right hand over your heart and begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Perfect. All right. Thank you, fellas. Good morning. We're getting a little feedback on somebody's computer. If we maybe turn that volume down a little bit, that'll probably help. So check your computers, fellas. But happy Friday, May 8th to everybody. Weather is supposed to cool off a little bit today, which is nice because, boy, yesterday it was really warm. And we've got a big Friday on tap. We're going to get to our special guest in just a minute. But first, let's talk about the spelling bee. Remember, fourth grade has their spelling bee today. Jake, I'm going to give you a spelling word in anticipation for that fourth grade bee. Are you ready?
All right.
All right.
Sure.
So your spelling word is sweltering. Yesterday, the heat was sweltering in the San Fernando Valley. Sweltering.
All right. Sweltering. SWELTERING. Sweltering.
Hot dog. Hot dog. So we want to remind everybody that fourth grade spelling bee is today at 4 o'clock live on Zoom. In my morning email this morning, I'll be sending the meeting ID and all the login information. If you are one of the contestants, you have to log in early. And if you're just going to be watching the event, you log in right there at 4 o'clock. Turn your computer camera off and just listen and watch great competition for fourth grade. So it should be a lot of fun today. Jake, what do we got planned today?
Today we have our special guest, Miss Freiberg and Ms. Becker, coming in right now.
That's right. Our two special guests. Let's bring them on to the morning announcements. This is super exciting. I see Mrs. Freiberg there. Let's see. Do we see Ms. Becker? They're both here with us. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. Good morning, Bentley. Good morning, Jake.
Good
Good morning,
morning.
Martinez.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, ladies, listen, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's a pleasure for us to have you with us. You know, every team, every organization has to have a blend of different staff members to kind of guide them, especially in difficult times like we're currently going through. You two are our two veteran teachers that really are our link to some of the most significant past of the school from the 1980s. You both worked with the amazing icon of Carpenter, Joan Marks. I'm sure she's going to come up in our conversation this morning. A wonderful principal, the original JM of Carpenter, Joan Marks. And what I really appreciate about both of you is that even though you've got over 3 decades of experience, both of you continue to push the envelope, to learn new strategies, to bring new energy to your classrooms, to make learning fun and exciting for the kids at Carpenter. And so for that reason, we wanted to have you on today to talk about your experiences at Carpenter and thank you properly. So thank you, ladies.
Thank you. It's been a great, wonderful time. So we enjoy every day that we're at school.
Awesome. Before we get into the questions with Bentley and Jake, let's do a quick little, I did put together a slideshow with some of the pictures that you all sent up. And so, I lost it there. Wait, where, can you see that on your screen?
No.
Oh, no? Okay, wait, hold on. Let me, this is like live TV here. Here we go. So what about now?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so here is a little presentation. Mrs. Freiberg and Ms. Becker, let's go back and look at some of their past at Carpenter. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Mrs. Freiberg, tell us about this.
Okay, so I was right out of college. It was my very first job as an adult, and I was lucky enough to be hired by Joan Marks. And this is in room 14. So those of you that have been in room 14, this is me trying to get my closet set up. And I was very excited,
And
as you can see from my big smile.
I'm digging that big 80s hair also. Oh my gosh.
It was great hair.
How about this one?
So I included this picture because you could see just how sad room 14 used to look. The plain walls, the desks are all uneven. It used to be a 5th grade classroom, and then I moved in, and it was a complete mess. And it was really hard to bring the warmth. And eventually parents came and we painted the rooms and did all sorts of wonderful things to make it as great as it is today.
Wow, look at that. Welcome back, schools. Classy. I like that. Now look at this. This is outside the science lab, right?
Yeah, so you can see the science lab is the red door, and we used to have this old fence around it. And luckily for us, our school's been cleaned up and it looks beautiful.
Exactly.
So I'm a silly person and I love to get silly. And this is a student of mine, actually Mrs. Field's son. And this wonderful shirt I'm wearing, every teacher had one hand painted for them for Teacher Appreciation Week. And it was a portrait, and Mrs. Field worked on it for every teacher in the school. It was really special.
And was this the school t-shirt that the students wear in there at that time?
Yes, it is.
Look at that. Now, why is there a big trash can right in the middle of the playground?
I'm going to make a guess that maybe that was when they pulled down the fence around science and they were cleaning up the yard.
And you can also see that the building, the 1st grade building, was kind of multicolored back there, huh?
I believe we had a parent paint dinosaurs, if I remember. Miss Becker, was it?
Yeah,
we had
it was dinosaurs.
Oh, okay. And then what's happening here?
So I just thought that was a fun picture. That was my classroom. My husband came in after work and he filled the whole room with red balloons and streamers for Valentine's Day. And when my kids came in and myself the next day, we were overwhelmed, super excited, and had a great day.
Wow, nice. Now look at this class picture here. Oh my goodness, Miss Becker, talk to us about this.
Well, as you can see, we had rather large classes back then. We had 30 to 35 2nd graders.
Wow. So that's 1991, right?
1991.
Where's the picture?
Well, I just want you to see in the 3rd row there, we have a very famous person. There is Catherine McPhee. I don't know if you can see her. She's
here. Right.
She's in the flower dress over 1. Yep. Right there, Catherine.
Oh my gosh.
Over 1. Over to your left.
One more.
Here.
Yes, that is Catherine McPhee, who is a American Idol winner, and she is a very famous singer right now. So I was her 2nd grade teacher.
Where was that picture taken?
Out near the auditorium.
Okay. And then how about this one?
Yeah, I just wanted you to see how many students we had.
Yeah.
That we had, this is a class of 33 children.
Wow. And it looks like this picture is in front of the school, right? And you can see
right in front of the school. Yeah. Yeah. And what's funny is I pretty much can tell you the names of all those kids.
And this is the staff picture from, what year is this?
1987. This is the first year that Mrs. Freiberg and I were at the school. And if you look at this, Stacy and I, Mrs. Freiberg and I looked at this picture, and there we are. If you look at this picture, we are the only 2 people still at Carpenter that are in this picture.
Wow. And this is Joan here, right? Isn't this Joan
That's
Marks?
Joan Marks.
Oh my
yes.
God, she looks amazing.
Mrs.
Right?
Belsey is there. You can see Mrs. Belsey and other people that you might recognize. But yeah.
Here's the transformation. Here's the staff in 1987, and here is our last year. This is the 2020 staff. Up top there you have Miss Becker, and then you have Miss Freiberg up at the top. There.
There we are.
Wow. Thank you so much, ladies. Why don't we, Bentley, let's go into your questions now for our 2 teachers, our 2 guests.
Okay. Good morning, Miss Freiberg. Good morning, Miss Becker.
Good morning, Bentley.
Our first question is, how much has Carpenter changed since you started working there? What was the school like when you first started?
Mrs. Freiberg, why don't you take the questions first and I'll take them second. Go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, well, I think Ms. Becker already touched on it. When we started teaching, we had 32 and 33 students in our class. It was a huge class, but we didn't know better. We also were very lucky because we had an aide that would work with us 5 days a week for 2.5 hours a day. So we were able to do our small groups. And it didn't feel big, but the funny story is when we finally went to 20 kids in a class, Ms. Becker freaked out. She was like, oh my gosh, I can't teach just 20 kids. I need a full class. This is not fair. And she was having a little tantrum because she never thought that she would fall in love with just 20, that she needed a big class with 32 kids.
I love kids.
Well, needless to say, we both got adjusted and now we have 24 to 28 kids.
Right. I love kids. I just want to have as many as I could. But one of the things that's really changed is that we didn't used to have air conditioning. You can imagine in the valley, it was 115 degrees and we were all, I said the kids were like candles melting on their desks. But the parents raised money and the parents actually put in the air conditioners to all of the classrooms. So thank you to PFC for all of our air conditioners.
And just real quick, just to piggyback, it would get so hot, Bentley and Jake, in our classroom that our crayons, the kids' crayons would get soft. If you could imagine how hot it was, that they would smudge and they would get soft, the crayons. It was so bad. Kids would be sweating. We'd have the fans going and blow the papers off the desk. So we were very happy when our parents raised the money for those air conditioning units.
Also one other thing, the room that is now the science lab is where the library used to be. Okay, it was a very teeny tiny little library, and where the library is now is actually 2 classrooms. We took 2 classrooms and made a library out of that.
All right.
Okay. That was interesting. Do you have any embarrassing moments as a teacher, or what was your first day of teaching like?
Okay, so I was trying to think hard about that, Bentley. I really don't have any embarrassing moments, but I think a funny moment was last year. Teachers, we're used to being called mom. I get called mom all the time. But last year, I was called grandma for the first time. And I was hysterical. I'm like, Grandma, are you serious? So I guess that would be my funny story.
Well, and once, teachers like to have coffee in the morning. Once I tripped and I spilled my entire cup of coffee down my white shirt, and I had to walk around all day with a wet shirt and a big, huge brown stain. That was rather embarrassing, yes.
Oh my God. Okay, both.
All right.
Awesome.
All right. So the third question: what is your favorite activity at the school?
Well, Jake, I wonder if you know that. My favorite activity is actually teaching about the artists in the classroom. I find that most of my old students that come back to talk to me will talk about Van Gogh or what they learned in art. And so I think that's my favorite activity. But also for an adult, I really like the dinner dance. And my husband and I were very lucky. We won the grand prize one year and we won tickets to Europe. So that's another, see, Mr. Martinez didn't know that. So we won the tickets to Europe and we had a wonderful trip. So those are my 2 favorite things at school.
Yeah, I was teaching the art.
Yeah, teaching art, exactly. And I love just singing and dancing with my students all day long and learning about all of our bones with Tony Boney.
Okay, our fourth question is, how have the students changed over the years? How have the parents changed, and how have the teachers changed?
So I would say today that second grade is we're learning in second grade what people learned in third grade back in the day. So when we first started teaching, second grade was like first grade. It was at a much lower level. And I think today you guys have so much mind growth as far as being able to access technology that we learn a lot quicker than what we used to do.
Yeah, and to piggyback on that is all of the students, I'm sorry, and all the teachers, we really know about technology. In the old days when we would do a research project, we would go to the library and get a thing called a book. But now we look up everything on the computer. And the parents have always been incredibly supportive and helping us with everything. So that really hasn't changed. We love to thank the parents.
And I would say, yes, that the parents have always worked hard with beautification. And like I mentioned before, they came in on the weekend, we painted the school. So that was even more than just picking up and straightening up. But the parents at Carpenter have always been amazing and supportive of their team and their staff.
Okay, our fifth question is, at your years at Carpenter, which years were the most complicated and which were the easiest? Did current events play a part of this?
Ms. Becker, did you want to start with that and then I'll finish?
Yeah, well, we've been on strike twice at Carpenter and in Los Angeles. And both Mrs. Freiberg and I were at Carpenter in 1989 when we went on strike that time. And also this strike of this last year of 2019. So that makes it rather complicated, yes. And Mrs. Freiberg, what is easy?
And the hardest thing that we've ever gone through would be remote learning. Oh. So not only have the students been learning how to remote learn, I guess teachers had to learn how to teach remotely. So it's been huge, and we're all working really hard, and we're proud of the students, and we're proud of each other as well.
Yes.
All right. The next question, what do you like about your job most?
The kids. We love our students, the kids.
That's why I go to work every day, to go and be with the kids. I love my students.
We miss their hugs and we miss their smiles.
Very
so
good.
It's been hard.
Yeah, it's hard.
Okay, our seventh question is, do you both have anything in common outside of school?
Yes, we both love to hike, we both love to read, and we both love art.
Okay, our eighth question is, what advice do you have for parents during this unique time?
So I would say to all of the wonderful parents out there that we know this is really hard. So to take a deep breath, we're all in this together and we are really here for you. So if something's happening at home and you're struggling with the work, the schoolwork, please let your teacher know, because we are on the same team and we want everyone to be feeling great mentally, being mindful, as well as hopefully being able to do some of the work. So just let us know. We're here to support you all, and we miss and love you guys.
And also go outside, get some sunshine.
Please.
All right, the ninth question. Have you discovered something new that you started during the quarantine?
So I started a 3,000 piece puzzle. I love puzzles, but I've never done a 3,000 piece. And I just finished it this week. It was the hardest puzzle I've ever done. It was a whole safari scene. So there's elephants, everything's the same color, but I was very proud of myself that I succeeded in completing a 3,000 piece puzzle.
And I've learned how to teach online. And whoever knew what Zoom was before, right? And now we're all experts at Zoom.
I didn't know what it was.
Right.
Okay. Our 10th question, last question of the day. Did you have a favorite toy or stuffed animal as little girls?
Well, this is Smokey the bear. He's falling apart. I've had him since I think I was like a year and a half. And you can see he's well loved. As you can see, he's missing an eye and he's absolutely coming apart. But I love him to pieces. So this is Smokey the bear. And I think Smokey was very big when I was little. I think a lot of kids had Smokey the bear.
Yes, he was.
Well, and this is not one from when I was little, but here is a Beanie Baby that one of my students gave me, because I've always loved cats. And so one of my kids gave me a Beanie Baby cat. So this is very precious to me.
Wow.
And the one last thing I want to say to all of this kids sitting at home, I think one of the most interesting things I could bring up would be that I have two former students of mine that were second graders in class that ended up getting married and having a kid. And so I just want you to know, when you go back to Carpenter next year and you look to your right and you look to your left, you might be sitting next to your future spouse. You never know what Carpenter magic will do.
Yeah. Ladies, thank you so much. Jake, you had something that you wanted to share on your screen. You want to put that up?
Yeah, I have a picture of me and Miss Freiberg from second grade. That's on my nightstand usually.
Nice.
Aw, I love it.
It's so cute.
Perfect. All right. Are we all ready to do the words of wisdom?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
All right. And now the words of wisdom. Do you all remember the definition of the word consequence? It means the results of our actions. Every time we do something good or bad, there is a result, right?
All of us make mistakes. Some of the mistakes we make are small and come with small consequences. Other mistakes are big and the consequences can be serious. Someone wise once said,
Every great mistake has a halfway moment, a split second when it can be recalled and perhaps corrected.
In other words, somewhere in the middle of making a big mistake, we can stop and choose again, and perhaps not make the mistake at all.
Next time you think you might be making a mistake, stop for a second, take a deep breath, and choose something different before it's too late.
With something to think about, this is Mr. Martinez.
And Bentley.
And Jake.
And Mrs. Freiberg.
And Miss Becker.
Make it a great day.
Or not.
The choice is yours.
Yours.
Everybody, listen, thank you so much, ladies, for joining us. We want to wish all the moms out there a happy Mother's Day on Sunday. Boys, I'm sure you've got something planned for your moms this weekend. I know that Mrs. Freiberg, Ms. Becker, and I are going to be reaching out to our moms as well. But we wish you all a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And we look forward to seeing everybody back on Monday morning for the morning announcements. Ladies, have a great day, okay?
Thank you.
Thanks.